Can you imagine filming a horror movie, going all in, screaming, crying, covered in mud and fake blood, only to find out afterwards the skeletons you were acting with were real human remains? Well, that actually happened. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I dive into creepy movie legends, cursed productions, and behind the scenes chaos. So hit that subscribe button and let's get into it. Today, we're talking about one of Hollywood's most infamous cursed films, Poltergeist. Now I know curse gets thrown around a lot, especially with horror films, but Poltergeist? This one has actual death, spiritual rituals on set, and yes, real skeletons. So buckle up because this one gets a little bit wild. Let's rewind to 1982. Poltergeist was released and directed by Tobe Hooper, although there's a whole bunch of side drama about how much Steven Spielberg actually directed, but that's another story. But it was written and produced by Steven Spielberg himself. The movie follows a seemingly average suburban California family, the Freelings, whose youngest daughter, Carol Ann, gets lured and abducted by malevolent spirits through the TV. Yes, through the TV. What starts off as your classic ghost story turns into something way more intense and unsettling. Even though the film was a massive hit, earning multiple Oscar nominations, it was what happened off camera that got people whispering about a curse. Let's go back to that fun little fact I started with. The skeletons. There's a scene in Poltergeist where the mom, played by JoBeth Williams, ends up in a muddy swimming pool during a massive storm, and suddenly, skeletons start popping up all around her. Scary, right? Well, it does get a little worse. JoBeth later found out that those skeletons were props. They were real human skeletons. Apparently at the time, using real skeletons was cheaper than creating fake ones? I don't know. I really don't know what's worse, the fact that no one told her after filming, or the fact that there were multiple real skeletons just casually used like decorations. The vibe was already spooky, but that just unlocked a whole new level. Now this is where the curse really kicks in. 4 cast members died during or shortly after production of the Poltergeist films. And that's not normal. I mean, sure, people pass away, but this many, this fast, under such bizarre and tragic circumstances? Yeah, that raised eyebrows. Let's start with the most heartbreaking one here. Heather O'Rourke, who played Carol Ann. She was the little face of Poltergeist. That creepy iconic, their hairline, that was her. Heather tragically passed away in 1988 at just 12 years old. She'd been misdiagnosed with Crohn's disease when in reality she had an intestinal abnormality. The blockage caused septic shock and she died suddenly during her surgery. And the worst part was, she had no symptoms, no signs that anything was wrong until the very end, and it shocked everyone. Then there's Dominique Dune, who played the older sister Dana. Just months after the first movie's release, Dominique was murdered by her ex-boyfriend. He showed up at her house, choked her into unconsciousness, and she just never regained consciousness. She was only 22 at the time. He was convicted of voluntary manslaughter and served less than 4 years. Less than 4 years. Unbelievable. And that's still not the end of it. Julian Beck, who played the terrifying preacher Cain in Poltergeist 2, died of stomach cancer shortly after filming Wrapped. He had already been sick during production, but his unsettling performance, combined with his real-life passing, just added to the eerie legacy. Then there's Will Sampson, also in Poltergeist 2, who played Taylor, a Native American shaman. Sampson was also a real-life shaman and believed that something was off on set, so he performed an actual exorcism on the soundstage. He did it at night with no one else around just to clear the bad energy, and apparently things did calm down after that. But unfortunately, he too passed away a year later from post-op complications following a heart-lung transplant. And even years later, tragedy still followed this film. Lou Perryman, who had a small role in the original film, was murdered in 2009 by a man who had just been released from prison. He broke into Lou's home and killed him with an axe, allegedly just to steal his car. Random. Absolutely. But when you stack it with everything else, it just starts to feel off. So what is this Poltergeist curse? Some people say it's just coincidence, a string of unrelated tragedies. After all, big casts mean higher odds of something happening. But others say it's all about the skeletons. That disturbing decision to use real human remains without proper respect cursed the production and everyone involved. And then there are those who believe Will Sampson was onto something, that he felt a dark presence on set and that the exorcism was 100% necessary. The fact that people on set felt compelled to do something that intense does say a lot. In Poltergeist 3, Heather O'Rourke was still filming just months before her passing. The final scenes had to be reshot with a body double after she died. The tone of that whole movie is incredibly eerie, knowing what was going on behind the scenes. Jo Beth Williams also said she would come home after filming and find pictures on her walls crooked, even though she had just fixed them. Nothing else moved. Just the photos. The clown scene from the first movie? Everyone's childhood nightmare? That puppet actually malfunctioned during filming and choked the child actor for real. The terror on his face? Very real. So, was Poltergeist really cursed? Maybe it's just a string of bad luck. Maybe it's a warning about messing with things you don't fully understand. Or maybe some movies just carry a little more baggage than others. Either way, the next time someone tells you horror movies aren't that deep, tell them about the real skeletons, the actual exorcism, and the terrifying long list of tragedies linked to this one movie franchise. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more deep dives into cursed films, behind the scenes chaos, and just all things spooky. And hey, if you have any cursed movie suggestions, drop them in the comments. I love a good Hollywood horror story. Until next time, keep your TVs off at night. Just to be safe.